Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And welcome back to the Way of Truth. We are full. We had roast, we had beans, we had rice, we had fudge, we had strawberry cake. It was so awesome. I had a pepper that singed the whole inside of my mouth.
You left green beans out.
And I didn't get any. I got a little pepper about this big in the banana pepper jar that set me on fire. I only bit into it, and that was it.
Bit into it, gave it to Misty.
You bit into it too? I was like, that looks so good. You didn't put it back. Wait, you didn't put it back in the jar, did you?
No, I gave it to Misty.
Okay.
Because
It was the only one in the jar. I was like, I think that's really good.
I ate one last week that choked me. I was gagging. It was so hot. Oh,
Had I swallowed it?
yes.
Yeah. Y'all would have had to
I ate
eat
half
a
of
bite
it.
to catch me.
I mean, it's just a jalapeno.
We have an exciting.
To send them.
We have what? I don't know what those
Misty's
were.
gonna take them.
You ate that
Oh.
with a calm. Oh yeah.
Well, like it gives you a little sweat, so it cools you off.
I do know exactly what you're talking about.
Some people in this class are not quite all the way here. Okay, I'm just going to make a disclosure there. So this is the second part of Nitzavym. What? I heard that. This is the second part, and we are going from Isaiah 61,
10.
8 through 63, 9, and John 12, 41 through 50. And we're going to get started because we aren't going to dally. One of my grandmother's favorite words. We can't dally.
One of them. One of the nice ones.
One of the ones I can say.
Yeah.
Because you were grandmother.
No, my mother.
Oh.
Her grandmother.
Okay, are y'all ready?
I could be her grandmother.
Y'all are so excited. Wake up. Coffee girl. Coffee girl. Oh my goodness. Do you have to beg for coffee here? You need a booster seat because I can't see you. Thank you, baby. You can pour that out. You're so awesome. So awesome. Okay, here we go. And we were just talking about the fact we love Isaiah. Isaiah 61:8. We're on page 462 of the Scriptures Bibles. For I, Yahweh, love right ruling. I hate robbery for a sending offering, and I shall give their reward in truth and make an everlasting covenant with them. And their seed shall be known among the nations, and their offspring in the midst of the peoples. All who see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed Yahweh has blessed. Does that happen already, guys?
What do you mean?
I mean, do people look at you and go, there's something different about you?
Yes. But
Okay.
I don't know that it's always good.
With Valerie, it's probably not good. No kidding.
So,
It is good. I had a girl, Misty, was from Mahia. She's actually married to a cousin of mine. And she said, thank you, Angel. Oh!
She said, thank you, Angel.
She said, thank you, Angel. She said, I didn't know Valerie was your aunt. I was like, yeah? How'd you know? She said, I saw y'all on the podcast the other day. I'm like, really? She was in your DARE program.
Everybody's in my dare program. Misty who?
I wish I knew her maiden name. It's Richardson now, but I should have asked her maiden name, and I will. I really like her a lot. She's really
Where'd you see her?
cute. And I just told everybody she's really cute. Has a really cute personality. She works for the city. But yeah, sorry, it's
In
football.
Mahia?
No, here in Fairfield.
Oh, okay.
But she went to school. She grew up in Mahia, so.
Okay.
So,
Got that straightened out.
yeah, okay. So glad we shared all of our personal information on there. Our phone number is, no kidding.
I live at.
Yeah, here's my address. Okay, and there, so I've already read that part. So 10.
And they're pen and ready. You're gonna send you a message. We're waiting.
get me outside.
Be a big drummer.
I don't know what he said, but it was funny.
Oh, I didn't say the actions. I said they're like this.
Oh, okay.
Ready to write down.
So live streamers, if this is the first time you're with us,
It's all-
what are y'all studying?
What are y'all eating?
What are y'all eating? Oh, look,
Food. We're eating
guys,
food.
y'all didn't make me had to spit out my chewing gum. And Timothy, we are studying the half Torah Parsha of Nitzavym. You are standing, and so this goes along with Deuteronomy 29 through 30. So this is the half Torah Parsha. I should have put that on there, so I will go back and fix that just so that everybody can see what's going on there. But it is the second part of the Torah Parsha, and it's really good. So I hope you stay with us, okay? I greatly rejoice, and we are in 10. What?
She was asking me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I greatly rejoice in Yahweh, my being exalts in my Elohim, for he has put garments of deliverance on me, and he has covered me with the robe of righteousness. Guys, do you hear the words here? And do you see how beautiful this is? He has put garments of deliverance on me, and he has covered me with the robe of righteousness. Our righteousness is as what?
Filthy rags.
It says filthy rags. That is so right, Valerie. But what is his righteousness? It's our deliverance.
It's our deliverance. And the thing is, he's put on, a lot of times deliverance is used in the Brit Hadashah, the New Testament, as salvation. And our deliverance is here
Mm-hmm.
on this earth. Our salvation is when we get to the gate.
Yes.
And that's what people don't understand. You know, it's been really mistranslated.
Everything has been really confused
Yes.
in a lot of the studies that we had going through the regular churches. Okay, so the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decks himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorns herself with her jewels. For as the earth brings forth its bud, as the garden causes the seed to shoot up, so the Master Yahweh causes righteousness and praise to shoot up before all the nations. So the nations are going to see this. They're going to see the deliverance and the righteousness that he's clothing you with. 62:1. For Zion's sake, I am not silent, and for all Jerusalem's sake, I do not rest until her righteousness goes forth as brightness, and her deliverance as a lamp that burns. Oh, you know what? Let's see.
Parsha.
Yeah. Okay. I've actually got Matthew, and this is Grant Cephas. A good Southern name.
Matthew what?
514,
We're in Matthew 5, verse 14. Okay, Grant.
page 922.
Thank you very much. Okay.
You are the light of the world. It is impossible for a city to be hidden on a mountain.
So this is Jerusalem that he's talking about, and he tells us there that her deliverance will be as a lamp that burns. And so Grant just read to us that she is the light of the world. It is impossible for a city to be hidden on a mountain. Isn't that pretty?
If
Ser-
it's light.
Yeah, if it's got lights in it. Guys, have y'all driven through the mountains and you've seen a little hilltop
Yeah, all the time.
community? Happens all the time here in Texas because
Like yours?
we have got lots of, don't give my address.
He's
Do
ready
not-
to write it down.
Do not give my address. So yes, can you see the lights from my house, from
No.
your house?
No.
I can't even see the hill.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Okay.
They're like, Grant, where do you live at, Grant?
Don't give anyone your
My
address,
address.
especially him. Okay. Okay. Psalms. We have Psalms 119, 105.
Like 119.
But let's save that for later. Go ahead, and we've got Psalms 50, verse 2, which would be Addie. I think I skipped that one, Valerie. You want to pull it up and
From
read it?
Zion, the perfection of loveliness, Elohim shall shine forth.
So Elohim is shining forth from Zion. And Valerie, you want to read Psalms 119, 105?
Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path.
And guys, who is the Word? Yahusha. He is the light. He's the
He is the
lamp.
Torah.
The Torah is our guide. Without it, you cannot. Listen, the Torah is the instrument that gets you to the gate. It is the path. It is the way we walk to get to the gate. Without the Torah, you can't get there, guys.
It's instructions.
It is instructions.
It's showing you
What to
step by step.
It is. Grant said it's showing you what to do. Like Valerie said, it is a step by step. Do what, Grant?
And the other part of the Bible is to how to do it.
That's right. This is what to do, and this is how to do it.
That's what Dad says all the time.
I like that. That's why we study it all. And then he gives us examples of what not to do and what to do. And the nations shall see your righteousness, and all sovereigns your esteem, and you shall be called by a new name, which the mouth of Yahweh designates. That's exciting.
But you think about the ones that he gave new names to, Abram and Yaakov.
Uh-huh. Sarai.
It was
Sarai
when
to
they were-
Sarai.
Their names originally were the physical. That's who you are. And when he changes them, you become the spiritual one.
I
Because
do
of the
too.
obedience and the faithfulness and all of that. That's your transformation.
I do. I like the way you put that. So I wonder what our names will be.
Thank you, Valerie.
We're going to be a E and a I-E.
It sounds like
Bing,
old
bing. What about a bing bang?
I was gonna say it sounds more like old McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Y'all remind me more of old McDonald than Bing Bang, Walla Walla Bing Bang, whatever. Okay, verse 3 of chapter 62, and we are in Isaiah. And you shall be a crown of comeliness in the hand of Yahweh, and a royal headdress in the hand of your Elohim. This denotes authority and power and beauty, comeliness. You're a crown of comeliness. It's a crown of beauty. I like the word beauty, especially when it comes along with the word authority.
Ooh, nice.
Beauty and
Very
authority, yes. No longer are you called forsaken, and no longer is your land called deserted. Why was Israel called forsaken?
They did not obey, and they were scattered and cursed
And divorced.
Right.
So when a man puts away a wife, she's been forsaken by him, right? House of Israel, forsaken. Well, and as I look, he may be speaking really of Zion right now, of Yehuda, the house of Yehuda. No longer are, okay, deserted, but you, excuse me. No longer is your land called deserted, but you shall be called Hephzibah, and your land married. For Yahweh shall delight in you, and your land be married. You know what's really neat here? Do you know what Isaiah's daughter's name was? Hephzibah.
Oh,
She
wow.
was, and she ended up being the wife of Hezekiah. So his
Really?
daughter, yes. So in his writings, he said, "You shall be called Hephzibah." She must have been beautiful, carried the authority of her father, and of course, being married to the king gave her some standing as well. So I found that really fascinating that he would use his daughter's name in this scripture. And your land married, for Yahweh shall delight in you, and your land shall be married. So the bride is who? Dennis, would you like to read from Revelation 21?
I'm
That's
not
me.
in Revelation, I'm in Ezra.
Okay.
Revelation 21.
Okay, come on. Let me just flip it around there. Okay. Revelation 21, 9 through 14.
Page 1215.
Okay.
And one of the 7 messengers who held the 7 bowls filled with the 7 last plagues came to me and spoke with me, saying, "Come, I shall show you the bride, the Lamb's wife." And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me the great city, the set apart Jerusalem, descending out of the heaven from Elohim, having the esteem of Elohim, and her light was like a most precious stone, like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. and having a great high wall, having 12 gates, and at the gates 12 messengers and names written on them, which are those of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. 3 gates on the east, 3 gates on the north, 3 gates on the south, and 3 gates on the west.
No Gentiles.
And keep
in
going
it.
through 14.
And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and on them were the names of the 12 emissaries of the Lamb.
Isn't it beautiful? Okay, so when you hear the way the city was set up with 3 gates, 3 gates, 3 gates, and 3 gates, what does it remind you of?
The
It,
layout of the
it's the 12 tribes. Wait, go ahead, Valerie.
camp.
The camp. So it's exactly how the camp was set up, right?
Right.
So the
Holy of
foundation, do
Holies
you
in the
think it's
middle.
gonna be columns or just,
It
Well,
almost
you-
sounds like 12 layers of foundations that are going to be built on the disciples. So
that's interesting.
that their teachings are the
Of
foundation.
course, the
Somebody just came in.
witness of Yahusha, and then the
Huh?
most.
Mary,
It's right there. Oh, you said Darian, sorry. You said Darian.
Anyways, the witness, and then the law of Moshe, both the Torah and then the witness of Yeshua.
Wow, right
So
in the
those
center.
they
Oh,
represent
wait,
each other. Because, you know, like the 2 witnesses, so you have the outside, the tribe of Israel around the gate, which they're the gates into the city, and then you have what is built on is Yahusha, the good news of what he came, what he
Right.
did, that he walked out toward perfectly.
The spiritual.
So
and
it's
the
like it's
physical.
still the 2 witnesses again.
That is beautiful.
that
I
he
like
would do
that. Yes.
How he intertwines everything.
Yes.
That, we have to see it, that's good.
Wow.
You can't
Okay.
know it unless you know it.
Okay.
It was brilliant.
Brilliant. For as a young man marries a maiden, so shall your sons marry you. And as the bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall Elohim rejoice over you. And so, guys, this verse really reminded me of 4th book of Ezra, chapter 8. Because in Ezra is conversing with Yah. And he's very distressed over what's going to happen to those who are not going to be saved in the end times. And I really love the response of Yah to him.
Could you repeat the book?
Yes, it's 4th Ezra, and it's going to be in the Sefer. It's 4th Ezra 8, 36 through 41. Okay.
And in 36, Ezra says, For in this, O Yahweh, your righteousness and your goodness shall be declared, if you be merciful unto them which have not the confidence of good works. Then answered he me, and said, Some things have you spoken all right, for according to your words it shall be. For indeed I will not think on the disposition of them which have sinned before death, before judgment, before destruction, but I will rejoice over the disposition of the righteous. And I will remember also their pilgrimage, and the Yeshua, and the reward that they shall have. Like as I have spoken now, so shall it come to pass. For as
Isn't
they-
it beautiful? I mean, this is, it just sounds exactly like what Isaiah is saying up here. He said, and as the bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall your Elohim rejoice over you. And that's what Dennis just read out of Ezra. He's going to rejoice. He's going to be so busy rejoicing over those who are saved, who are coming into the kingdom, that he's not going to worry. And it says it twice in the Sefer. 2 times he says this, that he's not going to be upset over those who, because everybody had and has a choice, just as Moshe put it in the first part of the Torah Parsha in Deuteronomy. I set before you today life and death. Choose life and live.
would it be kind of like the prodigal son?
Yes, it would be.
Believed and came back?
Yes, it would be, because the children are coming back home, and he is so happy, because guess who's going to be with those children? Adam and Eve, Adam and Hua. They'll be there. They'll be coming back. Huh? Well, they're in the ground right now, so I'm assuming they will.
Everybody that's saved,
Everyone that has-
everyone's saved going to be in the kingdom.
Hmm?
Everyone that's saved going to be in the kingdom.
That's right. That is right. And Yahushua's promise, Yahweh's promise, and it was actually through his word that he gave it in the first book of Adam and Eve, was you cannot come back until after 5,500 years. Because if you look at the timeline as to how long they were in the garden and when they sinned, it was at about the 500-year period, which means they didn't make it a day without sinning. Because a day is as what? 1,000 years. And he said, it's going to be 5 days before you come back. And they were like, yay. And he's like, no, 5,500 years is how long it's going to be. So they're not in the kingdom right now. They're in the ground.
And that's the problem we have, disconnection of the Bible, because if we look at the prophets, if we look at the prophets more than just prophets, we need to look at them as brothers, as family members,
Yes.
instructing us. You know, like a father to a son, or an older brother to a younger brother. You know, that's the way you need to look at it, that that's our own family members telling us.
Yeah, a wise family member. Because think about the relationship that they had with Abba. I mean, he would give them, and I say Abba, this is actually Yahusha. Because it's Yahushua who was dealing with everyone through the Old Testament. As soon as Adam and Eve sinned, as soon as they got through eating that apple, Yah was like, see ya,
Out of here.
out of here. And then they were dealing with what?
The word.
The word.
Breath of Yah.
But you're saying Abba because it's his authority.
Father.
Yes, it is his
It's
authority.
his authority.
But for our live streamers, I wanted to
Yeah.
make it very clear that it's the Son
With his
Sent
authority.
his
with his
word
with his
to
authority.
them.
That and the thing is, and we have to remember this, and Yahushua says this in the New Testament. I believe it's in Matthew. He says, I don't do or say anything that I don't first see my Father do or say. So he is not on his own, left to just ramble about. He is a direct imitation of Yah. He's his representation on this earth.
I mean, like the example I gave before, like when we go visit my family and my nephews and nieces in there, he'll come to me, Dad, they're doing this. I tell him I said, and just me, well, my dad said, and boom, it gets. That's the authority that.
Are you mean?
Who?
Are you mean?
No, it's the authority I have.
Uh-huh. You got a secret. It's those wall sits. I can't,
It's
it's
what?
the wall sits.
No,
No, none of my nephews and nieces. That's just my son and daughter.
Oh, that is just so cold. Abby, I'm so sorry. Your legs are gonna be so strong. You're gonna have the prettiest legs, unless you're a really good girl, and then you won't have pretty legs. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, so guys, let's go forward.
I want to finish one more verse.
What
Okay?
verse are you on?
I'm on 41. For as the husband sows much seed upon the ground and plants many trees, and yet the thing, lost my place, that is sown good in its season comes not up, neither does all that is planted take
Yes.
root. Kicker. Even so it is of them that are sown in the world, they shall not all be saved.
I had forgotten. I meant for you. Thank you for keeping on going. So there it is. Many are seeded, but only few are going to spring up and produce fruit.
Gosh, that reminds me of the sower of seeds. You know, what kind of soil are you? Are
Yes,
you the one that's well rooted, or are you going to be choked out by thorns or the rock?
yes. Wow. You know,
On the good soil.
guys, isn't it so amazing how Yah's word just all works together? I mean, you can go to different books that were yanked out of the canonized scriptures back in what, the 1600s, 1700s, and they still, they back up, they give witness, as Misty said earlier, they give witness to what has already been said. Okay, wow. So, here we go. We are in verse 6. But Yah's going to rejoice over us. Verse 6, I have set watchmen on your walls, O Jerusalem, all the day and all the night continually, who are not silent. You who remember Yahweh, give yourselves no rest, and give him no rest till he establishes, until he makes Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Guys, this has not happened yet. Jerusalem has not been made a praise in the earth yet, has it? Okay, so we have Ezra. No, we have Ezekiel 33, which is going to be
James.
James.
And the word of Yahweh come to me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of the people, and you shall say to them, when I bring the sword upon the land, and the people of the land shall take a man from their borders, and shall make him a watchman. And he sees the sword coming upon the land, and he shall blow with the shofar and warn the people. Then whoever shall hear the voices of the shofar, and shall not take warning, if the sword comes and takes him away, his blood is on his own head.
See, hear that, Vicky?
He said, if you don't hear the shofar, his blood is on his head.
Yeah, the blood. But then it goes on and says that if he read a little bit further, because this is kind of goes with what we were talking about earlier,
He heard the voice of the shofar, but he did not take warning. His blood is on himself. But who takes warning shall deliver his being. But if the watchman sees the sword coming and shall not blow with the shofar, then the people shall not be warned. And the sword comes and takes any being from among them. He is taken away in his own crookedness. And his blood I require at the watchman's hand.
okay, so see.
He's
what it
talking
says.
to the children of his people, which
Not
are his
sounding the
brothers and
truth.
sisters. Yeah. So it's talking about your brothers and sisters.
But it's talking about if he goes to a foreign land. That's what it says.
What's that anyway?
It says, Son of man, speak to the children of your people, and you shall say to them, when I bring the sword upon a land, and the people of the land shall take a man from their borders, and shall make him their watchman. It sounds like he's saying they're taking a foreign land, and they're making somebody from that land a watchman.
Well, he's speaking to the children of Ezekiel's people. So I'm assuming it's still the house of Israel.
But he's saying,
I mean, if if the children of your people set up a watchman on their walls, that watchman's going to be responsible.
it says, when I bring the sword upon a land, and the people of the land, it's not their land, it's not the Israelites' land.
Why is he speaking to the children of his people then?
Because they're supposed to tell them what to do. His children are supposed to tell them what to do.
Okay. Anybody else have anything?
Do you see that? I want you to see it.
I don't see that, but you do. So that's why I'm saying, does anybody else have any? I see it as
He's
still
speaking
the
to the
house of
children
Israel.
to tell them when they take a land to set a watchman
Mm-hmm.
over those people.
Yes.
And tell them what to do. And then if they don't do it, it's on, the blood is on their own hands. But
Okay.
if the watchman doesn't tell them what to do, then the blood is on his hand.
Yes, and that I mean I understand about the watchman being responsible for the people
Right.
and
So that's
giving
what I'm
warning.
saying. There is an incident where the blood could be on, if it's not your brother.
I still don't see that it's. I still see it as the children of Israel. We need some more.
Yeah, somebody,
What do y'all think?
it's 33,
Yeah.
33.
33:2-7. So I can see how you see that. I can.
Uh-huh.
But I see it still as the children. How do you see it, Dennis?
Him ready.
He's really you're sitting too close to her.
I'm listening,
You're not reading.
I'm not,
What is it?
It's 33, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, guys.
32-37.
I may be looking at it wrong.
And you, O son of man, say to the house of Israel, this is what you have said. For our transgressions and our sins lie upon us, and that's going to something different.
Where are you?
I was going on in
Okay.
33, past where we had stopped.
Awkward silence.
You know, you gotta be talking about.
Well, because in verse 7, he says, and you, son of man, I have made you a watchman for the house of Israel. You shall hear the word from my mouth, and you shall warn them from
You
me.
talk to the house, because if you're not in the part of the house, you're not gonna hear the shofar.
So maybe when
you're
they-
not going to know what the shofar's
You don't know
for.
the shofar either.
Yeah,
And
but
So
I
who's these
think
people?
it's the
It's the
children of his people, and his
Because it
people
doesn't
are-
say a foreign land,
It
it just
says
says
take
a
a land.
land.
So
Get a man to be a watchman.
I have made you a watchman for the house of Israel.
I had to read it 2-3 times.
But it says it shall not
Yeah.
take warning, so he doesn't hear the shofar. Shofar.
Well, no, they hear it, but
Don't
they're
say.
ignoring it.
Yeah.
They're hearing it and they're like,
Okay,
we don't have
that clears it up for
You
me,
shall
because
warn the
I was
people.
Like
Yeah.
us warning people that we're close to and them not seeing, not
Okay.
answering.
that is very, that
I'll go
is,
blowing the
that is
shofar.
a very good comparison, huh?
If I go blow a shofar in my house for a warning, the only people gonna know what's going on is the people,
Is your kids
Right.
and your wife.
Israelites.
Yeah,
Because everybody else like,
nobody else
What does
knows
that
what it's
sound?
for.
that's weird, what are they doing?
Yeah,
What is
I've heard
that?
people, I heard a shofar blowing
Yeah.
or the
So-
sound of a horn.
so we're not supposed to, warn them?
You can warn them, but they're not gonna understand
Until he
unless you,
awakens them.
yeah, unless they're
I understand
awakened,
that, but I mean,
their blood's not on your hands.
Okay.
Here's the difference.
That's
is
the
that
question I had earlier.
You can warn everyone, but if
if
they're
they
not
don't heed to
called,
it, it's
if
not
they're not
on
heed
you.
to it, it's
that's
not.
what I'm getting to,
Yes.
that's what I want to
Yeah,
know.
But
that's
you're
why I was
not re-
asking, what you read earlier, that's why I was asking earlier, is the blood on our hands? But we are to plant seeds and warn them, but the blood's not on our hands if they're not Israelites.
Okay.
But if they are Israelites, then if we don't warn them, it is on our hands.
Then I-
Yes. Okay. Now that was very good, James. You got through with the whole thing, didn't you? Good job. You really stirred up a bunch of talk. Okay, Ezekiel 3:16 through 22. Valerie, can you read it?
Verse 16.
Verse 3, chapter 3, verse 16 through 22.
And it came to be at the end of 7 days that the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, I have made you a watchman for the house of Israel. And you shall hear a word from my mouth, and shall warn them from me. When I say, is that it?
Yeah, keep going. You're doing good.
When I say to the wrong, you shall certainly die, and you have not warned him, nor spoken to him to warn, nor spoken to warn the wrong from this way, to save his life, that same wrong man shall die in his crookedness, and his blood require at your hand. But if you have warned the wrong, and he does not turn from his wrong, nor from his wrong way, he shall die in his crookedness, and you have delivered your being.
Keep going through 22.
And when a righteous one turns from his righteousness and shall do unrighteousness, when I have put a stumbling block before him, he shall die. Because you did not warn him, he shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he has done is not remembered, and his blood I require at your hand.
Hold on. Let's look at this again. Did y'all hear this? When a righteous one turns from his righteousness and shall do unrighteousness, when I have put a stumbling block before him, which is to test him, right? He shall die. And he's not speaking of physical death, guys. He's talking about a spiritual death, which means that once the judgment seat comes, you're not coming. You're gonna be tossed into the fire and burned up. He said, because you did not warn him, he shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he has done is not remembered. So it doesn't matter how much righteousness you have built up. If you've turned away from doing right rulings, his commands and his instructions, then your righteousness will not be remembered any longer, and you will die. But if Yah has sent the watchman to tell you to change, he's going to be as responsible as you are for your death. So, but still, he is talking. He said, I've made you a watchman for the house of Israel. So he is talking about the watchman over the house, which would be your brothers and your sisters, or your community, if the whole community is covenanted. But there are very few covenanted people now. Okay. I'll have to give Valerie another one.
He's like speaking. to
Hey, the
watchman
next-
in that verse.
The next verse says that, but if you have warned him and he dies, you've been delivered. You are not
Yes.
in.
Yes.
Just so everybody knows that part. Cause
So Valerie, we just read your verse.
What was it? Ezra what?
Ezra 3,
Ezekiel.
and Ezekiel 3, and it was like, Son of man, I have made you a watchman for the
Yeah.
house of Israel. And it's basically the same thing as he was saying in the other Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Psalm 102:21, which is Bailey.
Woohoo.
Woohoo, Bailey.
Okay, let me get that.
Yes, please. Right here. In the hot seat. Don't break the camera. That was rude. socially unacceptable, Dennis. Psalm 102:21.
It's on 704.
And guys, it is on page 704. Okay, thank you for that.
22 what?
Whoops.
Oh, wait, no, 102,
21.
21, I'm sorry.
You there? Okay. To declare the name of Yahuwah in Zion and his praise in Jerusalem.
And who's supposed to do that? He makes Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Go ahead and read from 19 through 22, okay? Can you do that? Awesome.
But he looked down from the height of his set-apart place. From heaven, Yahuwah viewed the earth, to hear the groaning of the prisoner, to release those appointed to death, to declare the name of Yahuwah in Zion, and his praise in Jerusalem. When peoples gather together and learn to serve Yahuwah.
Guys, did y'all hear what she just read? So, Sarah, you're doing good. So, from heaven, Yahweh viewed the earth to hear the groaning of the prisoner, to release those appointed to death, and to declare the name of Yahweh in Zion. Look at 61:1 of Isaiah. It says, the Spirit of the Master Yahweh is upon me, because Yahweh has anointed me to bring good news to the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim release to the captives, and the opening of the prison to those who are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of Yahweh, which would be the year of Jubilees, wouldn't it? And the day of vengeance of our Elohim, to comfort all who mourn. I mean, it goes right along with what King David was saying over here in Psalms, doesn't it? Good job. Okay. Yahweh has sworn by his right hand. We're back in Isaiah 62, verse 8. Yahweh has sworn by his right hand and by the arm of his strength. No more do I give your grain to be food for your enemies, nor do sons of the foreigner drink your new wine, for which you have labored. Who's his right arm?
Yahusha.
It is Yahusha that he, or Yeshua that he's talking about. Yahusha. Did you say Yeshua?
Yahushua.
Okay.
Now we have Yahusha, Yeshua.
I was like, did you go backwards? And we went to Sefer and you went back.
That doesn't sound like everybody said it together.
I know, we were like, what? So he is sworn by his right hand and his right arm, which is Yahusha. Yahusha is the right arm of Yah. The right arm of what?
Salvation.
Salvation. Very good. But those gathering it shall eat it. So he's saying, no more am I going to give your food or your wine to your enemy. He said, those gathering it shall eat it and praise Yahweh, and those collecting it shall drink it in my set apart courts. And I have got Zechariah 2, 7 through 13. Darian, speak it loud, boy.
O Sion, escape you who dwell from the daughter of Babel. For thus said Yahweh of hosts, for the sake of esteem, sing to the nations which plunder you. For he who touches you touches the apple of my eye.
Ooh, what did he just call Israel? The apple of his eye? What does that mean? That's a very, I mean, when I look at my grandkids and I'm like, you're the apple of my eye.
That's the joy of their heart.
It's the pupil, it's the part that sees everything, it's everything. Without the iris, the eyeball would have no meaning, would it?
No.
You couldn't see, could you, Grant? Thank you. Is there a doctor in the house?
No.
Okay. No. Okay. So anyone who touches you, the enemy who touches you, is touching the apple of Yah's eye. No, no, no. Don't do that. Don't touch. Right?
That's one thing about studying throughout the years, that all these cliches that come from the Bible.
Yes. Isn't that funny?
Yep.
come from the,
And what's sad is nobody really knows it,
Well,
And
that
they
was a surprise for me.
and sometimes they don't even use them properly, do they?
Just a few of them, like, come with me if you want to live.
You know, when I was going to the Catholic
That's
church,
a cliche. Come with me if you want to live.
Do my word if you want to not die.
I understand, I mean, you come to me, you want to
You
live.
just went dark.
But, like, I would go to the
I'll be
Catholic
back.
church on Sunday school, and, they'll put videos in, I didn't know, I mean, they put videos, they didn't show us in the Bible verses. But, like, Samson, oh, when I came across the Bible, I was like, oh my goodness, it's in the Bible. I thought it was just a cartoon.
Yeah.
The
just a
stories that they
video.
would put, yes.
No
you know, they would
way.
do the videos.
David and Goliath, I thought that was just
Yeah,
a
David
made
and
up
Goliath,
story
yeah.
that they, I had no idea it was the same
They
David.
Because they didn't, when I would go, not the Catholic church, they would not teach all about it, they would play these videos.
Why do they do that? Are they afraid that you'll see more than what they're wanting to show
Jehovah's Witnesses
you?
do that too.
Possibly.
Yeah, a Jehovah's Witness and I went around and around one time.
Me
It was
too.
very interesting.
Oh, they quit coming, they flagged my house.
Well, I was like, so how do you work with John 1:1?
Our house too over there.
Hi,
They flagged it.
huh?
What's
That's
Jehovah?
what they call God.
It is what they call. Is it in here?
It is a,
It's
it's
just
an
another way to,
We just said Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, Jehovah's Witness. It would be. Yeah, I see.
they don't say
I was
the,
like, I didn't see that in here.
the name of Elohim.
It's the name of Yah. Another name, like some people say Yahweh, some people say Yahweh, some people say Yahuwah.
Is it pagan?
Jehovah.
Huh?
Is it pagan?
No. That,
Jehovah's
name-
not.
they're
The
actually
name is
trying to
not-
say the Yud Hey Vav Hey. Nobody knows how to say it, Grant.
Correctly.
That's right.
But their church do have pagan ways.
Yeah.
What they're trying to rest?
Yeah, they are.
They're
They're
one of the
doing.
closest religions to it.
They're doing
Yes.
more than most people.
Yes.
But
They quit
they
doing
do
it.
try to
Is
read
that
the
7 Day
stuff that works.
Adventist?
Seventh-day Adventist Jehovah's Witness is the closest one as far as
Yes.
Christian wise, close to the Bible than other.
They don't believe in Christmas or a holiday.
Yes.
And see, the
Well,
first
that's the
time.
funny thing, Jehovah don't believe in Christmas.
Uh-uh.
Seventh-day Adventists do.
Oh, really?
I thought they didn't.
That's what I thought too. That's why we don't believe it. I mean, I did before I came here, I did the 13, 14 different churches trying to find the
Okay.
truth.
I sure didn't know that.
Yeah. So I went to, Jehovah come to my house and one of them came in and said,
When does Jehovah Witness, when do they worship?
they worship almost every day of the week, but I mean, they call them meetings.
A
Yes.
meeting,
They have
yeah.
meetings on
When-
Saturdays.
Saturday?
They
Because
have
I
meetings
have
on
a neighbor
Saturdays,
that goes
Sundays,
to
yeah.
it, and I didn't.
They call it meetings and not, it's not
And they don't have a
specifically
preacher,
Saturday.
just people, different people speak.
Teach, right.
Yeah, but they do, I mean, it's the program set up, it's nice, but they don't do it, it's Saturday.
Yeah,
They just call it a meeting, but it ain't the Sabbath. They call Sunday still the day of rest.
Really? So they're still a little bit confused.
They also have their own book too, right?
Well, it's the Bible, but they got, yes, they have changed it.
I meant like a guy, like about a prophet.
You give me the Bible and I can tell you, I can start reading, tell you if it's Jehovah's Witness or not.
Really?
The way- Yes, the way they
the
change
way
it.
you get rid of them is I'll pray for you and they scatter.
Why?
I don't know, but that's when I got rid of them. I said, well, you come here, let me pray for you. We gotta go, we don't have time, another time, every time.
Like I said, they,
I'm coming in. I want to pray for you.
well, they flagged my house, they don't come anymore. I told them, come in,
Well, I don't know either.
and we were gonna bring out the Bible, and I said, let's go,
I gotta go.
show what you're teaching, and I'll show you where.
Well, I tell you that they haven't been back since we went through.
Yes, that's what you went,
Yeah.
yeah, same thing.
Yeah, and I wasn't ugly. I was just like,
No, they're
you
like,
know, let's look at John 1:1.
and then
What?
you see the expression, yes, the expression on the
Yeah.
face, they're like, make them start, their head start thinking, like, what, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Well, there were two of them. One was a trainee and
Yes.
one was an older one. And the older one grabbed the trainee. And
I can't hold anything.
is everybody okay?
I dropped his phone.
I thought you were unfair.
The sound of a phone falling and Valerie falling are pretty much the same.
they were supposed to do it, nobody saw a witness.
Okay, verse 10. Guys, we're almost through. Almost. Okay. Pass through the gates. Yeah, this is an interesting few passages here. He's repeating it. Yes, sir. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, baby.
For look, I am waving my hand against them, and they shall be spoiled for their servants. And you shall know that Yahweh of hosts has sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for look, I am coming, and shall dwell in your midst, declares Yahweh. And my nation shall be joined to Yahweh in that day, and they shall become my people. And I shall dwell in your midst, and you shall know that Yahweh of your host has sent me to you. And Yahweh shall inherit Yehuda, his portion in the set apart land, and he shall again choose Jerusalem. Flesh all flesh before Yahweh, for he has roused himself out of his set apart land.
That was in Ezekiel 20.
Ezekiel 2,
Choose.
no, Zechariah,
Choose.
2, 7-13.
Okay, I gave you 2. That's what it was. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong page. Okay, thank you, Darian. I was getting all excited because I couldn't find where you were reading. Okay, verse 10 of 62. Pass through the gates. Prepare the way for the people. Build up the highway, and remove the stones, and lift up a banner for the peoples. When we get ready to go home, they're going to prepare like a royal pathway for us. It's going to be smooth. Clumsy me won't trip.
If you build it, they will come.
Oh, if we build it, they will come. She is on a roll. I like it. I wish she'd build it. I'd go. Think about it. I mean, it's like somebody said it earlier. We probably can't fly. Pretty soon, we won't be able to fly
Right.
the way they're going. We can fly in Texas.
It's okay, he'll move the water.
Through states either. That's what it sounds like.
That's exactly it.
History's it's gonna be just like Moses. They had to go somewhere where he was leading them and parted the water.
But he said he's gonna gather us.
He is going to
We don't
gather
know
us.
his ways.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pete.
So that
just
means I
gonna-
could ride in a spaceship or something?
You might get an angel come pick you up.
I want a chariot of fire like Elijah.
Could be.
You'll probably get a chariot
Dun,
of
dun,
fire.
dun.
I mean, you got Elijah go up into the planet. I mean,
Right.
I think that's spaceship.
Y'all know that Enoch
Chariot
did
of fire.
too?
Only thing they called it was a chariot. They didn't have nothing
He
else.
went up in
riding
a chariot of fire too. 2 of them went up in a chariot.
Yeah,
how do you know that might not be us?
Baruch did. It could be us.
Could be.
Come on.
How many
We
people
don't
went up in a
know.
chariot of fire?
2.
Enoch did too.
Yeah, Enoch did too. He come back.
Enoch, Elijah, and Baruch.
And Baruch. So there were 3. That's right. Enoch
Because
did.
when I read it, I called Miss Valerie. She's like, "Oh no!" I'm like, "Yes, it says it
No,
right
he
here."
did. He did. So there were 3. Because when I read about Baruch, and I need to go back and reread that, and if anyone's live streaming, Shalom Dilshad. If anyone's live streaming and you know, is there a study guide I can follow?
I mean, that's my curiosity.
We
too.
need to start putting that on there, Tim, and we will do that. Hey, Dennis is not here. Dustin, Dennis is here, but he's down. He had to make a running trip downstairs. So when he gets back up, I'll tell him that he said, gotcha. It's good to see you. How are you doing, Dustin? Like, we're carrying on a conversation here. He was here, gosh, what, 2 years ago, and he moved?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's my friend on Facebook, so I was kind of wondering.
He's a nice guy. I like him, and I miss him. So he's preparing us for the return, and he's telling all of us, pass through the gates. Pass through the gates. Prepare the way for the people. Build up the highway, and remove the stones. So it's going to be smooth. It's going to be an easy walk, guys. See, Yahweh has proclaimed to the end of the earth. Say to the daughter of Zion, see, your deliverance has come. See, his reward is with him, and his work before him. And they shall be called the set-apart people, the redeemed of Yahweh, and you shall be called sought out, a city not forsaken. So guys, look at 1 Peter 1. You want to see who has that one?
I do.
Pete.
Pete
1 Peter 1.
Come now, you who say today, tomorrow.
Wait. Huh?
Who?
For me. Wait for me. Okay, I'm there. Everybody else there?
No.
We're ready, sir.
Come now, you who say today or tomorrow, let us go to search for such a city, spend a year there, and trade, make a profit. And you do not know of tomorrow, for what is your life, for what is the vapor that appears for a little and disappears?
Wait, are you in 1 Peter?
Oh, no, I'm in 4. I'm in James.
I was like, wait a minute, what?
1 Peter
Yeah.
1, 13 through 16. I was like, he
I
started
read that
before.
much in there.
Maybe he started after. Well, maybe
Flip one page over.
you so
Oh,
tried to
stop.
confuse us.
Got confused. It's stuck together.
Yeah. I'm gonna let him come back.
Did y'all find him?
He's at his mother's of all places where he's not supposed to be.
She got confused.
He got confused with those names, y'all, and we have told him. I said, I told you, I told you, I told you. So he apologized and apologized, and I said, you just can't run off and leave, we don't know where you are.
Go ahead, Pete.
Therefore, having girded up the loins of your mind, being sober, set your expectation perfectly upon the favor that is to be brought to you at the revelation of Yahushua, Messiah. As obedient children, not conforming yourselves to the former lust in your ignorance. Instead, as the one who called you is set apart, so you should also become set apart in all behavior. Because it has been written, be set apart, for I am set apart.
Okay. Who's calling him? Who's calling him? As obedient children, it's Yah. And he's saying, be set apart as who is set apart?
He is.
As he is set apart. Guys, Yeshua says the same thing. He says the exact same thing. We're to be, and that's what Paul says. What Paul says, I'm going to imitate Yahusha, you imitate me, and we're all going to look alike, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we're all imitating each other, we're going to look like a bunch of little kids following their daddy. Ma'am,
You're gonna be a cod.
will be a cod. So here you go. And he's talking to, look at this. Go back over to 1 Peter 1, and actually in verse 2.
Where I was going.
And it says, chosen according to the foreknowledge of Elohim the Father, set apart by the Spirit unto obedience. There you go. It's the same people. It's good. Okay.
And Peter's just trying to say, look, this is the way it is.
Yes.
You set apart people. You've got to stay on the course.
Yes.
Don't get off that path. And he's talking. I read through 1st and 2nd Peter, and that's what he's telling. He's talking to the set apart ones.
Yes.
Trying to
So
encourage
Valerie,
them.
what does set apart mean?
It means holy.
So Valerie, what does holy mean?
Well, it
Set
means,
apart.
it means that you're not supposed to fit in with this world views on everything. You're supposed to do what Yah says. You're supposed to live a life that is holy, that is set apart. That you live by his instructions that say,
There
you
it
gotta do
is.
this, you gotta do that. And that way, you're gonna do the things in this world that you're supposed to, and people are gonna look at you and go, you're a little different. You go, yeah, let me tell you, you know.
It's not a little different, you're
There's a
different.
lot different.
And they see joy. They see joy in you. When things are just crumbling around you and you still have the joy, you're not going to have the happiness, but you're going to have the joy of the Lord, because the joy of the Lord is your strength, it says in Nehemiah 8:10. And that's where your strength comes from, the joy of just letting the things slough off of you that you can't change.
The peace he gives you when everything is chaos.
Peace.
Peace.
That's right. He's the only one that can give it to you. You can't give it to yourself. Nobody else can talk you into it. I'm having a situation in a family member, and was able to pray with them, and I got a text a while ago that things are, I said, pray peace over your house. And they sent me a text back and said, it worked, and I said, yeah, prayer always works. But it shows them that you're set apart. They call me for prayer, not because I'm anything special, but they know I stand, what I stand, that I'm set apart, even though I don't do Christmas.
I've noticed that people will, comment to him and say, will you please pray for this situation? And I say, you know how they go to the prophets and say, will you pray to your Elohim to bless us? And
They see that you're,
but when you're walking with them, they ask you to intervene because you're doing what he asks. It's like they want to use your obedience shelter
Yes,
for their
that's
own.
it.
That's it. They're wanting to use
fix
the grace that you're walking under.
extend to them.
Yes.
But they'll see something in it
Yes.
that y'all want them to see. That it's not us. And I always tell them, it's not me. Don't,
Right.
it's him. He just
Always
uses us
like
as a
that.
vessel.
We're that light that he tells about.
Yes.
That's right.
Did anyone have Psalms 98:1?
I'm fixing to come over there and let him scratch my head.
They got it on you.
Where's the head scratcher?
Valerie, would you do
Yes, ma'am.
Psalms 98:1? My toe just cramped.
Oh, no. It hurts.
I'm gonna drink more water.
Oh,
Sing to Yahweh a new song, for he
can't
has
see
done
it.
wonders. His right hand and his set apart arm have brought him deliverance. Yahweh has made known his deliverance. His righteousness he has openly shown before the eyes of the nations.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay.
Stand on it.
So we're going to start with 63:1. Who is this? I love this verse, okay? I like this verse because guess what?
What?
We see some retribution going on. Who is this coming from Edom with garments of glowing colors from Botzrah, who is robed in splendor, striding forward in the greatness of his strength? This is a mighty warrior. He's coming from Edom and from Botzrah. It is I who speak in righteousness, mighty to serve. Why is there red on your raiment and your garments like one who treads in the winepress? I have trodden the winepress alone, and from the peoples no one was with me. And I trod them down in my displeasure, and I trampled them in my wrath. Their blood is sprinkled upon my garments, and I have defiled all of my raiment. So, who is this? This is Yahusha when he has come back. Who is Botzrah and who is Edom?
I don't know.
Edom is Esau.
Esau. That's right. He is trampling Esau. So, Boz, and listen, but listen, guys. It goes a little bit further. He's not just trampling Esau because I want to carry you on a trail. I'm sorry, live streamers. I've got a toe that is bowed up on my foot. I'm having cramps. Sorry.
Eat bananas.
Drink some water.
Have a pickle.
Pickled egg?
So if I'm eating a pickle and a banana and water, don't mind me. Anybody got a pickle or a banana? And do not bring me that hot pepper again. Okay. Let's see who we've got here. We have got. I need Valerie. Wait, no.
What about me?
Grant. You're next. Okay, Grant Cephas.
Where are you?
Isaiah. I just got through. I just got through reading 63:1.
Right, one verse.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Isaiah 34:6-7. 439.
Okay,
Isaiah
I'm
what?
a confused one. Where are we?
We're in Isaiah
Got that.
34:6-7, but we're still reading in Isaiah 61-63.
Okay, I'm there.
Okay.
Swing
So
right.
Isaiah 34:6-7, Grant.
The word of Yahuwah shall be filled with blood. It shall be made over.
The sword.
Sword.
Oh,
I'm looking at that.
the sword of Yahuwah shall be filled with blood. It shall be made overflowing with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahuwah has a slaughtering in Botzrah and a great slaughter in the land of Edom.
Okay, hold on just a second. Do y'all see what we're looking at here? We've got Yahusha over here. He's coming back from Edom and Botzrah. He's got blood on his garment. And I mean, he's coming in majestically with garments with glowing covers from Botzrah, who is robed in splendor. He's striding forward in the greatness of his strength. And he says here, he said, I've been trampling down the winepress. He's been trampling these people, guys, is what's been happening. Over here in Isaiah 34, who do you have doing it?
It says,
Oh,
Yahweh.
really?
Yes.
but it's,
The sword of Yahweh shall be filled with blood. It shall be made overflowing with fatness and with the blood of lambs and goats and the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh has a slaughtering in Bozrah. Same thing. In Bozrah and in Edom.
Did you explain to us what Batra is? Is that Edom?
Bozrah is Edom. It's part of Edom, but it's considered part of, it's just a little bit southeast of the Dead Sea. I think it's the Dead Sea. It's the Red Sea, southeast of the Red Sea. And it is part of Edom. So it's part of the Edomite territory. Okay, and keep going. I don't think you're through.
And wild oxen shall come down with them, and young bulls with bulls. And their land shall be drenched with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness.
Okay, you did awesome. Good job. Scoot on along. I'm kidding. Chanel. And we're going to Jeremiah 49:13. Page 520. Come up here and sit by me.
You say 39 or 49?
49.
I almost got away with it.
No, you didn't almost got
Almost
away
got
with it. No. I wanted to see your pretty face. Hi.
I don't want to get All right, you ready?
What verse?
13.
13 through 17. For I have sworn by myself, declares Yahweh, that Bozrah is to become a ruin, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all its cities become everlasting wastes. I have heard a report from Yahweh, and an envoy has been sent to the nations. Gather together, come against her, and rise up to battle. For look, I shall make you small among nations, despised among men. The dread for you, the pride of your heart has deceived you. O you who dwell in the clefts of the rock, holding the height of a hill. Though you make your nest as high as the eagle, from there I bring you down, declares the Master. And that Edom shall be a ruin. Everyone who passes by it is astonished and whistles at all its plagues.
So Edom is Esau? Okay, but guys, what would you say if I said Edom could also be Rome? Would you believe me?
Probably.
Oh, y'all are
Most
too
likely.
easy. Okay, let's go to Yasher.
64.
And I've got Valerie on Yasher 36:23 and Valerie on Yasher 64. So we got Yasher 36 first.
36 what?
36.
23. What you told me.
36:23. What page is that, Valerie?
Page 450.
Well, that doesn't help me, does it?
But it's
Okay,
up
I'm
there.
there. Is everybody there?
I don't have a clue.
We need to fix that. We need to get your dads. Okay. So what Valerie's going to be reading is that these are the children of Esau. I want you to listen to the names, okay?
Okay, these are the children of Esau, who were born to him in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, were Taman, Omar, Sepho, Gatam, Phinehas, and Amalek. Is that Amalek?
Mm-hmm.
And the sons of Ruel were Nashah, Zerah, Shema, and Mizah.
Okay. Now, let us go to 64. So you heard the names there, right? So one of these names is going to stand out over here in 64. The 64 is going to be read by Valerie.
What verse?
1 through 6. Page 532, if you have your seeker. And Balaam the son of Beor was at that time with Angeas in the battle, and when he saw Sepho prevailed over Angeas, he fled from there and came to Kiddim. And Sepho and the children of Kiddim received him with great honor, for Sepho knew Balaam's wisdom. And Sepho gave unto Balaam many gifts, and he remained with him. And when Sepho had returned from the war, he commanded all the children of Kiddim to be numbered, who had gone into battle with him. And behold, not one was missed. And Sepho rejoiced at this thing, and he renewed his kingdom, and he made a feast to all his subjects. But Sepho remembered not Yahuwah, and considered not that Yahuwah had helped him in battle. and that he had delivered him and his people from the hand of the king of Africa, but still walked in the ways of the children of Kittim and the wicked children of Esau
Go ahead.
to serve. Sorry, I was trying to serve other Elohim, which his brethren, the children of Esau, had taught him. It is therefore said, from the wicked goes forth wickedness.
Okay, so Zepho was from the lineage of Esau, and Kittim, guys, is just outside Rome. He
Wow.
was king of Kittim, and this became the Roman region. Guys, listen, when Yahushua comes back and he tramples Esau, I do believe it's going to include Rome. This is my own guess. Huh? No kitties.
No
No
kidding.
kitty.
Paganism going on.
Kitty-yam.
So you're meaning Rome, like
Hmm?
not the actual place, but
No. Yes.
spirit of
No, the actual Rome.
the actual place,
I believe, well,
the Vatican and all that.
the descendants of Zepho are there
Is
in Rome.
Moshe's father-in-law?
No, that was
Because he had so many names.
his name was oh goodness, he's got
Ruel, I know that.
Raul, and then the other is
Got about 4 or 5 different names.
well, the others are just their description, yeah, but it's Raul, and the other is Zephyr or
Zepho, yeah.
something.
okay,
But Zepho is the grandson of Esau. His father was Eliphaz, who attacked. Y'all
Jethro,
remember? Y'all remember what?
the Jethro,
Jethro.
yeah.
Jether.
Yeah.
Okay, so Eliphaz is who Esau sent to attack Yaakov when Yaakov
Okay.
was going out,
Yeah.
because Yaakov had stolen his birthright. Remember?
Yeah.
He didn't steal it. It was given to him for a bowl of red stew. So I wanted you to see this, because to me, this blood that's being spilled here, yes, it's Esau, and it could be in the land of Esau, but could also be in Rome. When Yahushua comes back, he's going to take care of all the pagans. It's like Dennis said.
That's why I was wondering if that can include the spirit that's gone other places, the spirit of Rome.
But listen, when you cut the head
Catholicism.
off the snake, what happens to the snake?
Guys.
She gets really graphic.
Sound effects.
Okay, so cut
That's
the
what
head
I'm
off
up
the
here
snake, and listen, I want you to hear what it says about how he trampled them. He said in chapter 63 of Isaiah, verse 3, it says, I have trodden the winepress alone, and from the peoples no one was with me, and I trod them down in my displeasure, and I trampled them in my wrath. Their blood is sprinkled upon my garments, and I have defiled my raiment. For a day of vengeance is my heart, and the year of my redeemed has come. And I looked, but there was none helping it, and I was astonished that there was none upholding. So my own arm saved for me, and my wrath upheld me. And I trod down peoples in my displeasure, and made them drunk in my wrath, and brought down their strength to earth. Well, this is not where it tells us how deep the winepress is. It's going to be in Revelation. So I've got Misty and Misty. Misty.
We got 2 of them in there.
Misty 14,
One's my wife, the other one's good.
19 through 20, because she stole Pete's from him. She said,
And the messenger thrust his sickle into the earth and gathered the vine of the earth and threw it into the great winepress of the wrath of Elohim. And the winepress was trodden outside the city, and the blood came out of the winepress up to the bridles of the horses for about 1,600 stadia.
guys, that is 184 miles. The blood was up to the bridle on the horses. That's how much death there will be. So 184 miles is about 1,600 stadia. And Misty, you've got Revelation 19:15 through 16.
And out of his mouth goes a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall shepherd them with a rod of iron. And he treads the winepress of the fiercest the fierceness and wrath of El Shaddai. And on his robe and on his thigh, he has a name written, Sovereign of Sovereigns and Master of Masters.
So there you have it. And look, this is the rod that we will be passing under. This is the iron rod that he comes back bearing an iron rod. He will shepherd them with a rod of iron. This is the rod we're going under, isn't it? I don't want to get wrapped over the head with that.
No, that would hurt.
It would.
He means business with you.
Listen, guys, the first time he came as a suffering servant. The second time he's going to come as a reigning king, and he will rule, and there will be law, and he will be the judge. Y'all gave it over to him. You drooling.
No, I can hear it somewhere. You can feel it.
It's probably Pete's.
Yeah, it
Pete's hair's flying everywhere.
You can throw your hair, Pete.
Getting in his eyes.
He's a comedian, and no one knew it. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. So in 6, he said, I tried down peoples in my displeasure and made them drunk in my wrath and brought down their strength to the earth. Let me recount the loving commitments of Yahweh and the praises of Yahweh according to all that Yahweh has done for us. Guys, Yahusha in the New Testament, Yahweh in the Old Testament, they're one and the same. It is he who is coming from Basra, coming from Edom with blood-stained garment. Same one. He says, let me recount the loving commitment of Yahweh and the praises of Yahweh according to all that Yahweh has done for us and the great goodness toward the house of Israel, which he has done for them according to his compassion and according to his many loving commitments. And he said, they are my people, children who do not act falsely, and he became their Savior. Look at this. This is in Isaiah. He became their Savior. In all their distress, he was distressed, and the messenger of his presence saved them. This is just like reading the first book of Adam and Eve. The word, his word, saved them. How many times did God's word have to go down and revive Adam and Hua?
Too many to count.
It was like they died. Oh no, they died again. And then he went down and he revived them. In his love and in his compassion, he redeemed them. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And he lifted them up and carried them all the days of old. And guys, there are days now that I feel like y'all has carried me through the whole day. I know that y'all have the same feeling because it's like, today I can't make one more step. And it's like he just lifts me up and the day goes smooth.
I feel like there's no way I would be the person I am today if it were not for him.
Yes.
I mean, just to
Yes.
how I think, how I feel. I mean, I'm not the same person I used to. I don't even know that person. I don't like that person. I don't,
None of it's like the old us. So can you imagine, why would anybody want to go back and get the old you?
he hates her.
But with Misty, what really impresses me about her, I mean, I see y'all, I can't get this out of my, she walked all that distance to get to the Lifehouse. She knew there was something somewhere.
You know what's
She was
crazy
thought she
about
was
that?
wrong.
Yahweh was
Is
leading you.
I couldn't think of anywhere else to go. Like, my mind was blocked, and that was the only place.
But the
I could have
Lifehouse.
gone this way to my mother's house, or that way to my father's house, and the Lifehouse was right in between both of them. And I
That
did,
just
I
really,
was like, I can't go anywhere else. My feet
but he
won't
was
take
drawing
me
you in.
anywhere
He
else.
was pulling you
Yeah.
in, not yourself, but he
Yes.
was. But look where he has brought you to, it's just.
You know what, guys? That is a beautiful picture of the house of Israel.
Yeah,
It's our walk. You made the right choice.
she walked.
May all of us make that same right choice and have restoration. Hey,
I'm sorry for leaving, I apologize to all y'all.
come on in, sit down.
Sit down and join us.
I got blood on my wife, so I'm down.
Uh-oh.
So you need to go wash it off?
I got it off best I could,
Okay.
put rocks down.
Okay. He went through some brush.
Oh, man. Sticker
But he got
burst.
back, he came back.
Yeah, you look good.
And we,
Okay, so guys, this concludes the second portion, but what do we see from all of this? The restoration that Yah is bringing to his children, he's bringing us back home. He's going to restore us to a place that we've never been. I mean, the restoration is going to be like,
Well, it's like we're walking back.
yes,
I mean, it's like
Like-
we're walking to get where we know we need to be, and it's this walk, it's this path that we're on. And he just wants us to get on it and stay on it. Because he's gonna give us the strength to get there. We
Yeah.
can do it on our own.
I like the way Steve Berkson describes it. It's a path and it's covered by his blood.
Yes.
And it is his grace that allows us to walk this path. Don't get off to the right, don't get off to the left. You're not protected. When you veer off in those fields out far from that path, you have no protection. You're on your own. And so we stay on that path, and when we get to the end of that path, who do we find? Yahusha.
And it starts
He's the
with-
door. That's right.
With one decision. Abraham, he was dealing with his father and him making the idols. And it's a beautiful thing right in Jubilees where he's talking about, I said to Asher earlier, but he makes the decision and he actually asked Yahweh, will you make my seed a blessing and make it, so big?
Really?
He asked Yahweh that. So he made the decision. He cried out to Yahweh. And then Yahweh said, he said, where do I go? Yahweh said, I need you to go here and do this. Then Yahweh opened his ears and his eyes and he was able to see what was hidden in the truth of the word. So it's like a process. You make the decision first.
Okay, but I'm going to ask a question. Where did Abraham grow up? In the house of Shem.
Yes. So
Yeah.
he was.
From 11 till I think
40.
he was.
It was about 40 years.
Well,
Or 40.
It was a combined. I think it was about 70 years.
14 the first time, and then it was about 3 different times he was there.
Yeah.
So I wonder why he waited so long to pray that prayer, to cry out like the way he
Listen,
did.
you have to be 30 before you can even be a priest.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
that's what it was.
So we saw, let's see, Joseph went before Pharaoh. He was 30. Yahusha became a priest at 30.
Wow.
We could probably look through
That's
scripture and see it's like the age.
Your adult mind.
Yes, at 20 you become accountable for your decisions. By 30, you're actually smart enough to make the right decisions.
Right.
It's what I feel like.
I'm 38.
Because you can weigh them out. Maybe, maybe 38 sometimes, maybe 40. I mean, it depends.
I'm close. I'm getting there.
Yeah, we're getting to it. But,
I'm way fast.
but me too.
But I
I
just
can't
thought that
even
was
remember
beautiful
30.
that he made the decision. So
Yes.
it's really that easy for people who are watching. Just make the decision to want to seek out him and his truth. Make that decision to let him guide you in
but
it.
I'm going to add this in there. He didn't grow up around his dad.
Right.
Okay, he literally grew up in a cave till he was, 11?
Yeah.
And then at 11, he went to live with Shem because Nimrod found out that he was actually alive because he was supposed to have died at birth. As soon as he was born, Nimrod was going to have him put to death because the stars and Balaam was there and all this took place. So he was not supposed to live. He was supposed to have been dead. So,
And then his dad even turned him in.
yes, his dad did turn him in, and his dad also his dad turned him in, and his little brother, Sarai, and Lot's dad, Haran, went with him. He said, "Hey, I'm gonna do what he's doing. Yeah, I believe like he believes." He did not grow up in Shem's house, so he didn't. And Shem had a school. He had a school of teaching of Torah. So he grew up at the knees of Shem learning Torah. And Shem was he was Melchizedek. He was king of Jerusalem, which was called Salem back then. He had lots and lots of authority and responsibility. He was the high priest. He was the Melchizedek. He was the king. He was everything.
Foreshadow of Yahushua.
I
But
can't imagine being brought up like that. I mean, how?
He was brought up like that. Guess who else was? Yishak and Yaakov both spent time in his house. Esau did not. Esau would not go. So, guys, remember this with your children. Sorry, Addie. Remember this with your kids. How they are raised and what you teach them as they're growing up is so very important. I wish I had been wiser back then.
I think about, all the things that my mother, all the rules that she had that I hated so much, and I was never gonna make my kids do it. And I realized how much it affects them, not just, like, we only had 30 minutes of TV when we were little, the rest of the time we had to play. And we had limited amount of TV that we could watch. And it was very strict and I didn't like it, but it was for my own good.
Mm-hmm.
And now I see, like,
Yeah, and that's pretty amazing. And I look back at my life, and there really weren't that many rules for me because the parents weren't around at that point. And so we made our own rules. Y'all protected me. I could have gone just become a wild child, but no, I wasn't a wild child.
Felista.
Felicia was already dead. She died when I was in the 8th grade.
Oh, was she?
So during my formative years, I ruled the roost because I was the oldest child at home. But Yah has got a plan for us, and his plan is he's going to see it through and make sure that you don't veer off to the left or to the right.
Everything in our lives had to be the way it was.
But if you do veer off,
He was quick to, oh yeah, I couldn't veer off. I would get busted. There were too many spies in the town.
Yeah.
So I mean, I saw Vicky. So Yah does. He protects his children, and I think he did protect me, and it was probably the favor from my grandmother
Yeah.
and Valerie, and I mean, favor comes down to thousands of generations, and I do believe I got favor from that because
We got from Aunt Val.
yep, and so it protected me
Just
because I was too ignorant to know better. I was just
I mean, when I was drinking, I should have 5 DWIs. I was driving fine, just getting pulled over because I had so many people in the vehicle. But I mean, you roll the dead windows down, you smell the alcohol. And,
I didn't even drink.
I mean, I did though, but I mean, they just
I didn't do drugs.
they just allowed me to go. I mean, I could have passed the sobriety test. I wouldn't pass the breath knocking test,
Wow,
but I could pass the sobriety test.
really?
And they wouldn't do either. It was your fine, you see me talking to them, but all that, it wasn't me, it was our team. Because he knew
Wow.
years later what, if he picks his children, the one's going to help to plant seeds or whatnot,
Yes.
you know?
He knows every one of us, guys. He knows where we've been. He knows what we've done. There's nothing hidden from him. He knows everything about us.
I thought.
He knows more than we know, which is scary.
He sure delivered me out of some messes.
Yes.
I know that.
And it was only him. I can look, I thought then, boy, I was there.
Guys,
He must have a plan for me, but I couldn't tell you what it was.
look at the experiences that are in here, and I'm really serious when I say this. Yah is building a group, and he's going to use
Team.
the past that where we didn't do what was right. He's going to use that to help other people. He will, and I know that.
But how could you help someone if you haven't been through it?
You
to really
couldn't.
understand it. You can tell somebody, but unless you've been there,
adversities make you stronger.
yes, they do.
And knowing what I have done, like what I've done, and I know other people can have the similar experiences. I was heading down a wrong path, and getting in trouble actually stopped me from doing that. And,
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Give me that time out.
Yes.
Yeah. To see where I needed to be headed. Even though I went back, I knew I shouldn't be going this way.
Mm-hmm.
But you
And
did.
then it went to the
But you know what, Misty? We return to what's familiar.
yes.
And I think that's why a lot of women return to a bad marriage or to an abusive spouse or
Well, had I known then that, it, and I can tell you from experience, yes, it does get 7 times worse, that it scares me to
That's
death.
just a curse.
I was in so much darkness that I don't want anything to do with anything darker than that. It's just scary.
But thank God you're here. I want to close this with reading Psalms 91.
oh please
Lord,
do.
just quicken
That's
me.
just the curse he tells you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have to break the curse.
Yes.
I'm going to read Psalms 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High, who abides under the shadow of the Almighty, he is saying of Yahuwah, my refuge and my stronghold, my Elohim in whom I trust. For he delivers you from the snare of a trapper, from the destructive pestilence. He covers you with his wings, his feathers, and under his wings you take refuge. His truth is a shield and armor. You are not afraid of the dread by night, or the arrow that flies by day, of the pestilence that walks in darkness, of destruction that ravages at midday. 1,000 fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it does not come near you. Only with your eyes you look on, and see the reward of the wrong ones. Because you have made Yahuwah my refuge, the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil befalleth you, and a plague does not come near your tent. For he commands his messengers concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They bear you up in his hands, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You tread upon lion and cobra, young lion and serpent you trample underfoot, because he cleaves to me in love. Therefore I deliver him. I set him on high, because he has known my name. When he calls on me, I answer him. I am with him in distress. I deliver him and esteem him. With long life I satisfy him and show him my deliverance.
Guys,
That's him.
that is him. He is our deliverer. That's beautiful.
It's just a beautiful, and I
Thank you,
encourage
that was
everybody
my
to
name.
read it. Yeah, the girls all say, just read that. Sometimes 7 times. It needs to be just embedded in us that he is everything there.
And guys, this is what's important is, what is his name?
No,
Yahusha, Yahusha,
that's Yahuwah.
Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahusha. That's their names, and there's power in those names.
Yes, there is.
Otherwise, Yahusha would not have said, Father, I've let them know your name. I've made known your name to them. It's important.
Very.
So guys,
There's power in the name.
Valerie, you gonna close us out in prayer? Oh, thank you.
We just come to you in the precious name of Yahushua. What a blessed day you've given to us to worship together, to praise you, to honor you, to feed our bellies, such good food from so many wonderful cooks, to bless us just being here in the presence of Yahuwah and Yahushua. How we love you, and we want to learn and be your set apart people, so that other people can see you and us. Not that we're doing anything, but that you're doing it through us, because you're our strength. You're everything to us. And I just pray for each one in this room as we go our separate ways, for Pete and Misty and Addie and Darren to get home safely, and we thank you that they drive the distance to be here. I pray for all of the others that you will just strengthen us and encourage us. Let us have such a hunger to read your word every day, because it's the word that's going to change us, nothing else. Your word is the truth. Your word is Yahushua. And we need to be conformed to his very being, to have his attributes. And the only way we can do it is through the Torah. And the only way we will do the Torah is through your Ruach HaKodesh. He has to be within us and fill us. And so help us be reminded every day to talk to you, to get that relationship with you. Don't let one day go by, because then it's 2 and 3, and then it gets lost on the way. And I've seen that in my own life. I have to do it every day for me, because the time is short. We're seeing so many evidence. We don't even know. We may be in tribulation. Nothing's ever the way you show us a shadow, and you show us some glimpses and some things, and then people take them and say, this is the way it's going to be. We don't have any idea. We may be in a different place that we don't even know. But wherever we are, we know you're going to protect us and hold us up with your righteous right hand, because that's who you are. As we've just seen in Psalms 91, you're so much and so much more than we can even imagine. We just love you today, and thank you. And lift up all the situations that are going on in our extended families, and help us to have the wisdom to know how to handle it, so that they can see you in us. It's nothing about us, nothing at all about us. It's all about you. That we give you the honor and the glory, because you're so worthy of it. We praise you and we honor you. precious name of Yahushua. And don't forget Wilma. Help her, Father. Help us to know how to deal with the situation going on. Help her to get some joy in her life and whatever we need to do to show her that she is going to be taken care of. I just ask you to give us wisdom in dealing with this. And with Vicki and some situations going on with her, it's not always easy. And things that are here at present. But we know that you're going to take care of us and you're going to give us everything we need to deal with all of these situations. We just love you and we praise you in the precious name of Yahushua.
Amen. Good prayer. Good prayer. Okay. Everything's downstairs? So Shabbat Shalom, guys. Come on around here. Girls, y'all come here and say bye.
Everything.
You don't have to, Addie. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Come on, everybody. Bye. Properly spoken. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We hope the rest of your Sabbath is beautiful, and we want to thank you for joining us today. It was real and it was fun. Shalom was real fun. Until next Shabbat Shalom. And if you, any of y'all that would, did I tell you that Dustin said hello?
He got married supposedly, I think.
He said, Dennis, my brother.
Dustin.
Let me see if he's talking to you.
I don't want to talk to him.
Who's getting married? Dustin?
Oh, I'm sorry. Shalom. I thought y'all were already.
They just got engaged.
Oh, okay.